So now that you have a good idea of how to make a CSGO map, you should just get right into it. Whip out the block tool in whatever texture you want, and start making away, whatever shape and size you feel is appropriate. For a quick guideline though, I make walls 128 units high, and this makes it to where players have a nice wall feel without it being too tall, too short. The floors can be whatever size you want, but the 1024 by 1024 gives the player a nice big enough space to work in. You can just work from there and figure out the scale. The map I'm making here is a mirrored map on both sides. Nothing complex, just something easy to start out on and give you an idea of what to do. And as always, all the VMFs files are in the description below. One thing you should focus on doing is when you're making your map is to make sure that the edges of each block touch each other and not go past that. If they go past that, when the map tries to compile, it will have to choose which side to work with. In the end, when you have a really huge map and that starts to happen more and more, you might run into errors, level leaks, and other textural glitches that you might have not known about until then. The main reason I use the gray and orange developer texture is that it's easier later on to replace them fully with no-draw textures on all sides and replace only one side with an actual texture. I'll get into no-draw textures further in optimization, but for the shorthand, if the player can't see that wall, put a no-draw on it. This reduces your render time for building the map and lets the map run better on people with slower computers. Now normally on competitive maps you have only 5 players, but when you have your map being tested, put in more than 5 players. But for here, this will do just fine. Here I'm amusing myself making the spawn points neat and tidy. And also note you can select everything, flip it horizontally to make them face the other way so everyone has their backs to each other. Not at all required, but as it's a mirrored map, why not? For the buy zones and the bomb sites, we use the trigger texture because it's easier to find. You can actually use whichever texture you like, but when you're within Hammer, seeing a brick wall as your bomb site, it could confuse you later on. And also note, you don't always have to put in 2 bomb sites A and B, you can actually put in just one. I'll cover this later in optimization, but for now, when you're making your map, don't go all crazy and do an overlap like this. It doesn't really hurt anything, but it's just good to have a level aesthetic that makes it to where you don't have to worry about cutting edges later or whatnot. And finally, to bring this all together, just know to just start making maps. Don't worry about their quality or how the layout is. Just start making them, share them on the workshop with your friends, let them play around with it. It'll be fun. So later on in other episodes, I'll show how to do more advanced mapping stuff. Have fun.